So Google recently launched a brand new vibe coding product, and it sounds like they're sort of trying to catch on to this whole vibe coding trend. And I'm not really a big fan of the term vibe coding, though I do use it every now and then in my content just because that's what people are using. But I like the term AI coding, and that's basically what Google's new tool does. It is another app in the AI coding space, similar to Lovable, Bolt, and so many other tools that are out there. But the interesting thing about what Google's offering is it's free, or I think it's free. It's free for me, but you may also get a bunch of credits when you sign up for it. So if you go to Google's AI Studio, which is the back end developer back end for all of their AI models, where you can sort of play with different AI models, you should see once you sign up, you should see what I'm seeing on my screen over here. And you have a bunch of different options here. You can chat with some of the models in the playground. You can test out different models that Google offers. And then you can even generate an API key and start coding with Gemini. Now, what we want to look at today is this new option that they have here. It's called Vibe Code Gen AI Enabled Apps in Build. So it's a new tool. If you click here, it kind of has a very similar layout as Lovable or Bolt, where it's basically a chatbot that says describe your idea and then click on build and it'll build it for you. What you see down below here are basically additions that you can add on. So Google does have a bunch of different APIs and AI products in the backend, and they kind of abstract away the sort of integration of all of these apps. So Nano Banana, which is your image model, which is the best image model actually right now, is sort of like one of these power ups. And if you click on it, you see here it loads it into the chat. So essentially, if I describe my idea, I'm telling it here that I want you specifically to use the Nano Banana model in this app. So, for example, if I wanted to create a headshot professional headshot app where a user could just upload any random pic of themselves, like a selfie, and it turns it into a really nice professional looking headshot. I'd want Nano Banana in there. And so then I could just click on that, describe my idea, and it'll build it out for me. And you can do multiple. So, conversational app as well. Google Search and Google Maps, where you can tap into Google Search data or Google Map data, which is really cool. You could build some sort of like a restaurant recommendation system or travel app. So that's actually what I'm going to do here, just to show you how this works. I'm going to use Google Maps data, and I'm going to build a personal travel guide, right? So I'm going to ask Gemini here, or Gemini 2.45 Pro, which is the best coding model from Google, one of the best coding models in the world, actually, on par with Claude and GPT-5. But I'm going to describe my app here, and I'm going to say something like, I want to build an app that is a personal travel guide app. So basically, if I'm going to visit a new city that I've never been to, I just want to go into the app and describe my tastes. And then the app should use the Google Maps data and build out a personalized itinerary for me, um, for places for me to visit and things for me to do. So I was just using my voice there to kind of enter all of this, and let's hit build. Now, I haven't given it a very good prompt here. And in my other videos, if you've watched some of the other content I've created, I'll get back to that thought in a moment. I also wanted to show you this cool feature. So while it's thinking over here and trying to define the app, and it's kind of planning it out, so it's really expanding on my prompt there, you see these other things here. So add interest-based filtering. So add that to chat, and then it sort of just like adds this little feature, and it's coming up with like very personalized features for this app here. And so I'm just going to wait as it sort of generates all of our code here. Basically, as you can see, it's generating all this code. I'm just going to explain kind of what you should do normally when you're building something. So if you are building something that's really that you want to use internally, a feature, a product that you want to use personally, or even to deploy to the internet, you should really build out your plan up front. So don't just give it a very basic prompt like I have. It's very vague, right? And so I'm asking the AI to interpret what's in my head, which may not often be what I want. So I would suggest that you watch some of my other videos and then really define what you want and build out a spec, and then give that spec here and let it build it out for you. Anyway, we've got our app here, so it's asking for geographic location, which is great. I am going to, let's just do Kyoto, Japan, right? Kyoto, Japan. And so you can see like the text isn't really coming around, but love, history, and architecture. So let's see if it works with this. And I'm going to show you how we can start to make edits once this is, let's see if this app works. So it's built the app and it's connecting to the Google Maps API already, and it's connecting to like Gemini LLM. And so basically it's already built out all of that stuff, right? Now I don't need to go in and figure out how to connect the AI to connect Google Maps data, all of that. And here we go. So it's giving me a full personalized travel itinerary, and it's like, here's where you start, dinner suggestions, day 2, here's where you start, dinner suggestions, and so on. And it's all text-based. So there's a few things I notice here, and there's a few things that I want to make changes to. So I'm going to basically annotate the app here. And this is really cool because I could do this, and this is like a freeform tool, and just say, I add that to chat, right? And it's taking a little screenshot and make the input field backgrounds light. So let's see if it understands what I'm trying to say here. But essentially, I just want to turn these backgrounds in from like blackish to kind of a lighter color so that there's contrast between the text and the background. And there you saw it, it sort of just updated it and refreshed the screen, and now it's a much nicer background. Now I can actually type stuff in. Great. All right. Now, the second thing I wanted to do was the entire response that came back was just a wall of text. So I want to ask it to display a map as well. So when the response comes back, display it in a map visual to show points of interest on the map, right? And again, I'm just going to let it run, and then we're going to try it again. And so it's just going to work on this thing, make push changes, update it. Meanwhile, I'm going to show you a few more of the annotation things over here. So you saw the freeform annotation. There's also like a little text box thing that I can add over here and just add comments and add that to the chat. I can do a rectangle annotation, which sort of like really focuses on a certain box if I wanted to. I could add arrows here and like point to different things that I want. And then I can add comments. And so all of this stuff is basically me just like, it's almost like I'm working with a designer, right? Like I'm just going and like annotating on the thing, and Gemini is looking at those annotations and then just going and adding the stuff in. So, all right, looks like our little, let's see if you're, our little app is going to be almost ready here in a moment, and it should probably refresh the screen, and I should be able to see if it shows me a map. All right, so while this is building, I also want to show you what you're seeing here is a preview of the code, but you can see the actual code if you click in here, and you can see all of the code, the various components and folders that it's built out. You can actually go into the code. You can, make changes if you wanted to. If you know what you're doing, go ahead and do that. So if you like find little things where, you want to just like, this is sort of metadata for the app, and I could just change that. I don't need to like ask Gemini to do that for me, right? So let's see here. It's done. It's refreshing, and let me see if now we can do Kyoto again. Love, art, and history. There you go. Generate itinerary, and let's hope that a map shows up. Okay, so we've got an itinerary. Again, it's just a wall of text, and then it does show us sources from the map, but doesn't sort of display the actual map. So again, it's just like a matter of really telling the AI what exactly you're looking for here and what you want to do. And so here I'm going to do the other kind of annotation where I add a rectangle, and then I go to add a chat, and I'm just going to say format the text better here, right? And just tell it. And like here, I'm just hoping it really understands what I'm trying to say when I say format the text, because obviously there's like, I think it's trying to generate markdown here, but it doesn't like show up nicely. And then the other thing I can do later is annotate this and say I want this to be an actual map with pins on it, right? And so then I'm getting a little more um, direct with what I want here versus vague, broader instructions. You kind of have to work with the tools these ways, whether you're using Gemini or some other tool. You have to work with it to be very specific with what you want. And I've written some content around this, like principles of vibe coding or AI coding, on my blog, which I will add a link to below, so you can have a look at that to see if you know how to really work with these AI tools. All right, let's see if it has updated the formatting. And it actually does it. So here it is formatted much better. This there could be some better spacing, and perhaps what I might want to do as well is to have it turn these sections into cards. So I can say for each kind of stop on the tour, I want you to turn it into like a little visual card versus just a wall of text. And have like a little map location kind of next to it and some images so I can see what the Imperial Palace in this case looks like and decide if I want to go or not. And so that's kind of how I can like iterate and sort of improve the um, the app this way. And then once I'm done, I can deploy this. So I can right now it's obviously living in my computer and only I can access it through my account, but I can save it to GitHub so it can go onto my code repository and I can have my development team get access to it or other people get access to it. I can also just like click on deploy app here and run it on Google Cloud. And Google Cloud is essentially just cloud hosting, web hosting service, right? So if I click, I have to like select some of the existing projects or import projects that I have, and then I can click deploy app here, and then it's available on the internet. You have an URL, you can share that URL with people, and so on. So it'll be accessible by public URL. And of course, Google takes care of a lot of these other things where the security issues and monitoring of the app and so on, it's all built in, it's all abstracted away. All you have to do is focus on the app and the functionality and just like describing what you want really and prompting the AI in a good way. And it builds it for you and it removes the all of this stuff about making sure API key is not exposed or login details are not exposed and so on, right? The other thing is obviously it's using your Google API to do all of this generation of text, right? And like the Maps API and so on. So it uses your API key. It's like when you create an account, you get an API key. You don't even need to think about all of that stuff. It's just there. But if you do share this kind of app online, other people start using it, it's going to be pinging your API key and you're paying for that eventually. Right now, you don't have to because it's all free. But what you may want to do then is go back into this sort of interface and explain to the AI, hey, can you add a sign up form or some sort of like authentication method, the login method, and maybe add a Stripe payment plan and so on, and it'll actually like start building that out for you. So all that's to say, amazing, really great tool here, which is very close to and has like equivalent functionality to existing tools like Lovable and Bolt, except Lovable is about $20 a month, if I recall correctly. So is Bolt for the basic plan, whereas you could get all of that functionality for free in Gemini's Vibe Coding Studio or AI Coding Studio. So check it out, have a look, go play around with it. It's free, and then let me know what you want to build or what you're trying to build, and I'd love to check it out as well. Thanks for watching.